And we're on. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the special meeting of the Liquor Control Commission for Monday, November 1st, 2021. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk Brady, roll call, please.
Commissioner Lang.
Here.
Commissioner Papantos.
Present.
Commissioner Rufato.
Here.
Commissioner Vito.
Here.
Commissioner Vogel.
Here.
Chairperson Horker.
Here you have before you the minutes of the special meeting of October 4th, 2021. Can I have a motion for their approval?
So moved.
Motion, Commissioner Papantos, second.
Second.
Commissioner Rufato, roll call.
Commissioner Lang.
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos.
Yes.
Commissioner Rufato.
Yes.
Commissioner Vito.
Abstain.
Commissioner Vogel.
Abstain.
Chairperson Horker.
Yes. Citizens' concerns and comments?
Not tonight.
Thank you. Brings us to new business, 6A.
Consideration of a request for a Class L liquor license, Priester Aviation, for events to be held at 1061 South Wolf Road on November 20th, 2021, and 2 unspecified later dates.
Mr. Spondulis, what do we got?
Thank you. As the title indicates, this is a request for a Class L liquor license for Priester Aviation. As our code dictates, the reason that there are 2 unspecified dates is because each Class L comes with the initial request plus 2 to be determined dates within the next year. So we do not anticipate those other 2 dates to occur. However, they have the option of doing so, and I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Questions or comments? Right, left, none? Motion for...
Make a motion to approve.
Motion, Commissioner Vogel.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Lang. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Lang.
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos.
Yes.
Commissioner Rufato.
Yes.
Commissioner Vito.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel.
Yes.
Chairperson Horker.
Yes. 7.
Okay. Hearing in the matter of Bond Drug Company of Illinois, LLC, doing business as Walgreens, number 04941, 10 North Milwaukee Avenue, docket number 21-02.
Councilor Reedman.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Hyman Reedman, R-I-E-B-M-A-N, and I'm here on behalf of James Dundee, Chief of Police for the Village of Wheeling. The matter that's before the Commission is a petition for violation of the Liquor Control Act, violation in particular of Section 4.32165, alleging that an employee of Walgreens did sell, give, or deliver alcoholic liquor to a person under the age of 21 years. There is a representative here from Walgreens. I may ask that he step up. Mr. Hanley? Stay right here. Why don't you introduce yourself to the commission?
My name is Michael Hanley.
A little
Sorry.
into the microphone.
My name is Mike Hanley. I am the store manager at 4941 as of last week, actually. But I do
manager at
store 4941.
Okay.
That's the location in Milwaukee and Dundee, is that correct?
Correct.
Attorney Reedman, can we have the court reporter swear in the witness, please?
Thank you.
Thank you very
Just
much.
ask that.
No, I'm sorry. All right, great.
Raise your right hand, please. Would you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in the cause I'm hearing, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Step over here. This over here for you. I had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Hanley, and we've come to an agreement with regard to an admission as to an admission with regard to what the allegations are in the complaint. And we'll proceed in a moment and tell you what those allegations are, but if I can just ask Mr. Hanley, have you had an opportunity to review the petition?
Yes.
And you understand what the allegations are and what the alleged facts are, is that correct?
Correct.
And we have an agreement that you admit that these are the facts that are alleged in the complaint and that they are true and accurate?
Correct.
To the best of your knowledge? Okay. With regard to the allegations in this case, there was a compliance check. Notice had been given in May to 50 establishments that sell alcoholic beverages in the village of Wheeling. Pursuant to that code, they issued the Wheeling Village Code. They issued notice to the various establishments, and they had compliance checks, advising them in May that there would be compliance checks in the month of June. On June 29th, the Wheeling Police did do a compliance check at the Walgreens at Dundee and Milwaukee Avenue. This is, by the way, in re the matter of the liquor license of Bond Company of Illinois, LLC, doing business as Walgreens number 04941. On that date, the Wheeling Police sent an underage youth into the Walgreens, and he sought to purchase a six-pack of Miller Lite. He went in and he had his identification, which indicated that he, in fact, was under the age of 21. He also went in with a pre-marked $20 bill that he received from the Wheeling Police Department to purchase that. He approached the cashier. He asked for a six-pack of Miller Lite, and Sheila Gutierrez was the person that went back and brought the case of Miller Lite to him and asked for his ID. She looked at the ID and then she scanned it on a machine, and then she proceeded to sell the alcoholic beverage to the underage youth. And the Wheeling Police officers, Officer Bishke is here, who's here today, came in and retrieved the marked money and the change, and that's how that evening progressed. And based on that allegation, do you agree those are the facts? Do you stipulate and agree that that's what the evidence would be if the witnesses were to testify in this hearing today?
Yes, correct.
I have nothing further at this time.
Mr. Furlow?
Sir, do you know what steps were taken by Walgreens in response to what occurred in this instance?
Yes, when it comes to that, Walgreens has a zero tolerance policy for it. So there was termination right after the selling of underage.
Have any other changes been made relative to their policies, or was this simply an error by the clerk?
It seems like an error by the clerk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Patrick?
Any other questions?
Commissioner Vogel, then Commissioner Papantos?
When they scan the ID, what does it tell you?
So usually when they scan the ID, it will register the year so that you won't sell underage. I was currently not the manager at the time when this happened. From what I was told, there was something with a return that triggered the ID to go through. Nonetheless, the cashier should have been checking the dates.
Okay, has that been fixed?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Vogel. Commissioner Papantos?
Thank you. In regards to the ID and the cashier, I have a couple questions. First of all, are staff notified that the compliance checks are about to happen? Because we do notify all liquor license holders that compliance checks will be occurring.
Oh, when they come in for the underage?
Well, they don't, say, hey,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
here, but beforehand, they say, we'll be doing compliance checks within the month. So is staff, reminded that you're supposed to be doing this all the time, but people will be checking?
Yeah, I mean, there's always a constant reminder to employees, yeah.
Okay. And is staff trained that, unless things have changed in the state of Illinois, an underage, under 21-year license is vertical versus my license, which is horizontal.
Correct, that's,
It's a pretty easy look that I don't need to go any farther. This person is not 21.
yes, correct. No, that is in the training on the computer.
So, with or without a computer having a scan, one should have automatically realized that there was a problem here.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, and was this individual Bassett trained?
Yes, everybody's Bassett trained in our store.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Papantos. Any other questions?
I have one.
I just would
Commissioner
add
Vito.
one thing. There was in fact notice given to Walgreens, and it was done by mail, and it was served in person. Notice of the petition and of the hearing that was scheduled for last month and then for today's date.
Thank you, Mr. Reedman. Commissioner Vito?
So if that technology is working right and a 20-year-old comes in, gives the ID and it scans, it's not supposed to let the purchase go through, right?
Correct, yeah, it's supposed to block the
Oh,
purchase.
that's rough. I mean, I don't know. All right, whatever. Yeah, I get it. You're supposed to look at the ID as well, but I mean, we rely a lot on technology, and if the scan got overridden, I feel bad for the woman, to be honest with you, but I know I'm one of 7, but it is what it is.
Commissioner Vito will be arguing in your favor in executive session, which is fine. Counselor Ferraro?
Sure. At this point in time, can we have a motion to recess into executive session pursuant to 2C4 of the Open Meetings Act in order to deliberate the evidence presented?
So moved.
Second.
That was Commissioner Rufato, second Commissioner Papantos. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Lang,
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos,
Yes.
Commissioner Rufato,
Yes.
Commissioner Vito,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel,
Yes.
Chairperson Horker.
Yes, we will have a brief recess. We'll be back shortly.
Okay, no, I didn't.
All right. I need a motion to reconvene into regular session.
So moved.
Motion, Commissioner Papantos, second.
Second.
Commissioner Lang, roll call.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos?
Yes.
Commissioner Rufato?
Yes.
Commissioner Vito?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Chairperson Horker?
Yes, Mr. Ferrolo, decision, please.
Certainly, the Liquor Commission has deliberated the evidence presented, and the decision is as follows. Within 14 days, the license holder, Bond Drug Company of Illinois, doing business as Walgreens 04941, shall do the following: pay a fine of $500, pay the administrative costs incurred tonight relating to the court reporter's fees, provide a list of all employees and proof of BASA training, and finally provide a copy of your written policy relating to the sale of alcoholic beverages, all to the village clerk within 14 days. An order, can I get a motion to approve that first?
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Vogel, second, Commissioner Papantos, roll call, please.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos?
Yes.
Commissioner Rufato?
Yes.
Commissioner Vito?
No.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
And Chairperson Horker?
Yes, thank you, sir.
An order will be issued and served on Walgreens, laying out the penalties. Thank you.
That concludes our business for the Liquor Commission for the evening. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion, Commissioner Rufato, second.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Lang. All in favor?
Aye.
Liquor Commission meeting is adjourned. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Village Board for November 1st, 2021. We will dispense with the pledge as that's already been accomplished. Clerk Brady. Oops. Attendance, please.
Oh, yes. Trustee Lang?
Here.
Trustee Papantos?
Present.
Trustee Rufato?
Here.
Trustee Vito?
Here.
Trustee Vogel?
Here.
Chairperson Horker? President Horker?
Something like that. You have before you the regular minutes of the meeting of October 4th, 2021. I need a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Motion, Trustee Papantos, second.
Second.
Trustee Lang, roll call, please.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Abstain.
Trustee Vogel?
Abstain.
You also have before you the, I'm a yes also.
Okay.
You also have before you the minutes of the regular meeting of October 18th, 2021. Need a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Trustee Papantos, second,
Second.
or not. Trustee Rufato, roll call.
Trustee Lang?
Abstain.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. Changes to the agenda. Mr. Spondilos, what do we got?
We have one. At the request of the petitioner, I'd like to ask for a motion to remove item 13A from the agenda.
Motion.
So moved.
Trustee Papantos, second.
Second.
Trustee Vogel. Clerk Brady, roll call, please.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. Clerk Brady, any citizens' concerns or comments?
Not tonight.
Staff reports. Mr. Ainsworth, what have we got?
Thank you, President Horker. Luca, if you can switch to the website. I wanted just to take a few seconds of everyone's time, and Economic Development staff is pleased to showcase a new promotional tool. I actually put some of the flyers on the end of the dais towards the door in the back. We have a new Wheeling Home Improvement Business Guide, and it's this is the landing page on our website that showcases businesses that help improve properties within Wheeling. They are Wheeling-based businesses that sell, or they have showrooms, or they work with contractors, et cetera. Surprisingly, we have 39 businesses that sell fencing, custom windows, doors, lighting fixtures, cabinets, paint, decor, flowers, and other miscellaneous items. And if you click on this highlight, Luca, can you go to the map? you'll see a new story map that actually features all 39 businesses as well. So the goal is to kind of encourage, if you are looking to improve your property in Wheeling, help support Wheeling businesses, you can click on any of these. It's filtered by all locations, products for inside, products for outside. And once you click on any of these, you'll get their phone number, their website, their address, and what they sell. So our goal is to really help residents know there are businesses here to help improve their properties. It's a great promotional tool. So far, with this information handout, we put it on our website, various Facebook pages, LinkedIn, and we're distributing them to related professionals as well as putting it throughout the Village Hall. And I'm happy to say we've boosted the Economic Development Facebook page where about 10,000 Facebook users have seen this ad so far. So if you know anyone who's getting some new granite countertops or new flooring, have them take a look at this map. I'm happy to take any questions if anyone has any I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone so has any.
Trustee Papantos.
I just wanted to say, great job. I used it, and it's really user-friendly, so thank you.
Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Ainsworth. Clerk Brady, consent agenda.
Okay. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the board members or citizen so request, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered after all other agenda items. Resolution accepting a proposal for Civil Tech Engineering, Inc. for engineering design for the 2022 and 2023 street improvement program in the amount not to exceed $177,071.65. A resolution accepting a proposal for engineering services for Jewalt Hamilton Associates, Inc. for storm sewer televising, mapping, and condition assessment in the amount not to exceed $88,499.40 for fiscal year 2021. And an ordinance amending Chapter 4.32 of the Village of Wheeling's Municipal Code, alcohol liquor dealers, specifically Section 4.32.085, to decrease the authorization number of Class D-2 and Class E liquor license. And ordinance amending the Village of Wheeling Municipality Code, Title 14, Fire, Chapter 14.07, Special Service Fees. That's it.
Thank you. There are no questions or comments. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Trustee Vogel, second.
Second.
Trustee Papantos, roll call.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, that brings us to 13B.
Ordinance granting approval to exceed the permitted illumination levels for Stasek Chevrolet 700 West Dundee Road, docket number 2021-38.
Mr. Clicker, what do we got?
Yes, before you have a request from Stasek Chevy, which has recently been purchased by Tosca Automotive Group, and they have been making substantial improvements to the property that you might have noticed already. One of those improvements that they'd like to make is to redo the lighting on the exterior of the building and throughout the parking lot, and the lighting levels will exceed the maximum allowable by the village code, so that is why the request is for you tonight, is to approve the lighting levels as proposed. This was reviewed by the Plan Commission, and they actually did put forth a favorable recommendation, noting the type of business, being an automobile dealership, basically needs a bright lot for people to see the cars. So,
Questions or comments? No? Motion to
Make a
approve.
motion to approve.
Trustee Vogel, second.
A second.
Trustee Lang, roll call.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes.
13C, an ordinance granting special use approval for final planned unit development, approval of the 3-unit multi-family residential development, Union Apartments, current address 231 Wheeling Road, docket number 2021-41, and a resolution approving the final plat for Union Apartment subdivision, current address 231 Wheeling Road, docket number 2021-42. That's it.
That was C and D? Oh, I'm sorry, never mind. Got ahead of myself. Mr. Clicker.
Yes, before you have General Capital Group seeks a final plan unit development approval for the development for a 53-unit multifamily residential development, which they are calling Union Apartments. This received approval at the Plan Commission at what meeting? At their October 13th meeting. The Plan Commission, there were a few code relief requests, and they were that to reduce the parking stall length to 18 foot, reduce the drive aisle width to 24 feet, increase the building height to 57 feet 6 inches and 4 stories, and to reduce the required parking spaces by 2. Again, this was heard at the October 13th Plan Commission meeting and received unanimous approval. The Plan Commission did suggest 3 conditions of approval for this final PUD, and those would be that 1, the full detail sheet for the carport in the site accessories booklet shall be revised to be a standing seam roof deck to match the building prior to site grading permit approval. 2, the photometric lighting plans shall include the street lights along the Wheeling Road Parkway prior to the village review of the final PUD plans. And 3, that payment in lieu of installation of the sidewalk along Wheeling Road shall be determined and accepted by the engineering division prior to the issuance of the certificate of occupancy. There is one change that we would like to actually recommend to those conditions, and that is to condition number 2, and that's pertaining to the photometric lighting plan. We would like to request that the photometric lighting plan be included the public street lights along Wheeling Road Parkway in accordance with the recommendations of the Community Development Department and Public Works Department prior to the issuance of a building permit is what our requested condition was, which may include payment in lieu of installation of the street lights. This is due to the fact that we have begun a phase 1 redesign of Wheeling Road, and within the next few years, hopefully 5 years, we will be redesigning and rebuilding Wheeling Road from right-of-way edge to right-of-way edge, and putting in the street lights now just didn't seem appropriate.
So you're asking to substitute what basically appears on, there's a paragraph in here.
Yes.
You just want to substitute the paragraphs?
Yes.
Questions or comments from the board? Right. The Trustee Papantos? Oh, come on up, introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you. Good evening. Thank you for allowing us to consider the PUD tonight. One request on the recommendation number 2 is that instead of being issued prior to building permit, we issue it prior to certificate of occupancy. Our understanding is that the village sounds like it's in the process of designing the lights and what they want on Wheeling Avenue, and we don't want to have, we would prefer not to be held up while that goes, and we pull a permit hopefully within, the next month.
Yeah, we would have no objection to amending it to the condition, to very similar to the condition 3 from the plan.
So prior to the issuance of a
Certificate of
occupancy. You got that, Mr. Ferrolo?
I think so. Find out soon enough.
It's right there at the bottom of the second page. Trustee Papantos, you had a question?
Thank you, stay there. And my major question was regarding the streetlights. It seemed obvious to me that why would we have somebody put in streetlights if we were perhaps going to have to move them anyway within a few years? It seemed like a large expense. So is that the direction we're going? It was the same direction as the sidewalks, as far as I was concerned.
Correct.
And so will their photometric plan then be without streetlights? Because so you obviously can't determine the photometric if you're not putting them in. You're
Right.
just doing the streetlights or the lighting for your subdivision.
And the streetlights will then be installed as part of the overall redesign project, so it'll basically be our standards that'll be put into, so that.
Great. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to seeing you start. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions or
One more.
comments?
One more.
Mr. Lang, trustee Lang.
Oh, sorry.
Trustee.
Sorry.
So I just want to make a comment. So it's been a pleasure working with your group on this project. I think it's going to make a lot of folks happy to be able to live near where they work and have a commuter line as well near where they live. Are those some of the two of the factors that you use to choose this particular location?
It's a long story, but yes, those are incredibly important to the development of affordable housing is location closely to public transportation as well as other amenities.
So given that, I urge you to look at South Wolf and Camp McDonald. There's a large shopping center that is very much in need to be redeveloped, and it's right near Prospect Heights' rail line. It's in walking distance, and it would be a perfect phase 2 for a project like this. It's near industrial, it's near rail.
Fantastic. We will definitely look at that. That's how we survive as a business, is seeking out other opportunities, and we pride ourselves on working with communities more than once.
This one we'd probably want mixed use as well with it, but
we will take a look at it for sure, and thank you for bringing it up.
Great. Thank you. That's all I had.
If there's nothing else, we're looking to approve as written with the exception of condition number 2 being the photometric lighting plan shall include the public street lights along Wheeling Road Parkway in accordance with the recommendations of Community Development Department and Public Works Department prior to the issuance of certificate of occupancy, which may include payment in lieu of installation of the street lights. That sound about right, Mr. Ferrolo?
Correct. Was that your amendment, Ross, completely? Okay.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Trustee Rufato, second.
Second.
Was that trustee Vogel? Trustee Vogel. Clerk Brady, roll call, please.
Trustee Lang.
Yes.
Trustee Papantos.
Yes.
Trustee Rufato.
Yes.
Trustee Vito.
Yes.
Trustee Vogel.
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes.
Number E, resolution adopting an emergency.
Don't we have to vote on the final
Oh,
plat?
Second one, sorry.
That would be D, resolution approving the final plat for Union Apartments and Subdivision, Wheeling Road, 231 Wheeling Road.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Papantos, second trustee Rufato, roll call, please.
Trustee Lang.
Yes.
Trustee Papantos.
Yes.
Trustee Rufato.
Yes.
Trustee Vito.
Yes.
Trustee Vogel.
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes.
All right.
E,
Resolution adopting an emergency operations plan for the Village of Wheeling.
this is impressive. Mr. Swandelis, what is this thing?
Thank you. That is 270 pages of helping to make sure that the residents and businesses of our community are best served during major catastrophes. And that is not an internal plan as much as it is a plan that integrates with the county, the state, and federal agencies. That was actually a great introduction. Thank you for holding that up. Typically, this item would be on consent agenda as it has been completed and submitted to the county for review. But staff thought it was important to share the submittal with the board and the public in a more formal capacity like this. Certainly all of our departments are well-versed in having standard operating procedures for just about everything from standard maintenance to disaster relief and recovery. But this is bigger than that, and this is the village's role in how to work with outside agencies. As I said earlier, in those major catastrophes, we've learned from experience, and it's perhaps obvious that there needs to be a shared plan where everyone knows what their role is.
This is like a uniform regional response, so everybody knows their parts.
It is our part of, that's exactly right, our part of a unified regional
Is this one of those things
response.
that came out of the Katrina?
I
when everybody
think
got
it
there and
preceded
started-
Katrina. Someone correct me.
Yeah, this is part of GEMS. We've been in GEMS, for 2 years now?
Sure.
So the communities, they formed a template, so you're exactly right. It's a regional, and those are all our stakeholders, our neighbors. So it's more of a template, we're all on the same page, but most of this was born through Katrina, and especially, Mavis and the other.
Everybody
documents.
speaks all the same language now.
Yes.
And I cut you off, I'm sorry.
We're on the same page, so it's good. I was going to simply read one bullet point as to what exactly this is and its purpose: to facilitate multi-jurisdictional and interagency coordination in emergency operations, particularly between the village, local government, private sector, operational, and state response levels, and appropriate federal agencies. As the chief said, this is part of GEMS, which is the Joint Emergency Management System that the Village of Wheeling joined earlier this year. There are 10 other communities. We are number 11. And this is a template that they came up with, which not only made the task easier, certainly not easy, but the fact that we all now share the same playbook is definitely an advantage to our community. So certainly can answer any questions, but I did want to acknowledge Eileen Breyer's work in all of this. She was the point in getting that done. So I wanted to acknowledge her efforts. Thank you.
Questions or comments? Left, right? Seems very anticlimactic for such a large. Well, no, I have not read the whole thing.
I started it.
My understanding was that this was.
Can we have the village manager read it into the record?
Sure, I would like a dramatic reading.
It'll be a fireside chat with John.
With inflection. And no, this is important because the one of the things that I remember coming out of Katrina was you had a bunch of people from all over the country showing up on site at a huge catastrophe, and they all had their own language. Basically, they were all speaking the emergency response language of their area, and that created some problems. And I think stuff like this is very important, and it can very easily get glossed over as like, well, yeah, they're supposed to do that. Well, yeah, they're supposed to, but that you still have to. So thank you guys very much. And unless anybody else wants to say anything, need a motion for acceptance, basically.
So moved.
Motion, Trustee Lang, second, Trustee Papantos. Roll call, please.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. F.
Ordinance amending Chapter 4.32 Alcoholic Liquor Dealers and Chapter 4.08 Licenses and Permits of the Village of Wheeling's Municipal Code to create a Class P liquor license to allow the sales and retail of alcoholic liquor by craft distillers.
Mr. Spondylus.
Thank you. Believe it or not, despite the number of licenses that the village currently has in the books, we try not to continue to expand them. But this is a request to create a new type of license, but it is certainly for a good opportunity. The village has currently 2 distillers within our jurisdiction. Both have, from time to time, talked about opening a tasting room where they can display and provide their product to guests. One distiller in particular is now looking to pursue a tasting room, and in order to do that, the village would have to have some sort of license on the books that would allow it. We do not, so we created one. Specifically, this ordinance would create a definition of craft distiller, so it is very clear as to what a craft distiller is and is not. And it creates the license for a Class P license, which craft distillers would be eligible to apply. Class P would include the following. The license holder is only authorized to sell and serve alcoholic beverages that it produces on premises. Alcoholic liquor can be sold for consumption both on and off the premises. Containers sold for off-premises consumption must be 375 milliliters or more in volume and sealed for legal transportation. And the license holder can dispense complimentary tastings of its products under the same restrictions imposed on other Wheeling packaged liquor retailers. Video gaming is not permitted on the licensed premises. The point of this is to allow the distillers to expand, to sell their products, to become a taxable sales tax producing business, but also, the more that they can do, the more that they can attract to their facility, the more likelihood of their success. And that's exactly what this is meant to do, is help them along that path. Certainly happy to answer any questions.
Trustee Papantos?
Thank you. Just out of curiosity, where did we come up with the 375?
That's the state law.
Is
This
that,
is very strictly regulated by the State Liquor Control Act. We have the right to be more restrictive than the Liquor Control Act, but not less. So those numbers come directly from the Illinois State Liquor Control Act.
I was trying to, in my mind, picture what 375.
It's a normal bottle.
Yeah, that's directly from the state.
It's a half bottle.
This is half a liter, so that's 500.
It's a half bottle of half of 750 milliliters. So it's half a bottle.
Okay, that math I could do.
It's a bottle.
I just have never seen that small. Yeah, I didn't know. It seemed like an odd amount. Thank you.
Those are normally small bottles that are behind the cash register.
Okay. You guys spend way too much time in liquor stores.
I think the point behind it is not to have single-service bottles, that you are
So
there.
you're not gonna buy the
You're there
little
to
minis.
sample, you are there then to take a bottle to go home with, and yeah, it is not meant for you to crack one open in the car.
I did not know you wanted examples. I would have brought some in.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just trying to picture it. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions?
I do. What's the basis behind limiting them only to what they produce? I mean, what's the harm if I'm producing this whiskey and then, here, compare it to this Jim Beam or something or whatever?
You want me to do it? So that they don't become a bar. I mean, that's the short answer. If you let them sell other liquor, it's now a bar.
What's wrong with a bar?
Zoning.
It's a good question, Joe, for the legislators. This comes directly from the state statute. And I think the idea here is, and the memo touches on it, is to limit the extent to which manufacturers, distributors, and retailers can perform one another's functions. I mean, this isn't a bar selling other types of liquor. This is they produce liquor, they can sell their liquor. This is the way the statute evolved. And it's very strictly regulated, even to the point where they can only, if you look at the definition, they can only produce 100,000 gallons per year. They're limited on what they can even produce when they're a craft distiller. So theory, it's hard to get into the exact reason for it, but I think it's so that everybody stays in their lane, basically.
Thank you, Trustee Vito. Any other questions? If there are none, need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Trustee Papantos, second.
A second.
Trustee Lang, roll call.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. Official communications, right. Left. Trustee Vito.
I failed at this before, so I'll try again. As many of you may have heard, the mayor of Elk Grove has said that he is no longer going to enforce the mask mandate in his city. Obviously, if you've been paying attention to me in the last 20 months, I am 100% on board with that. Of course, he was met with a lot of criticism, but I do want to just emphasize that we are kind of living in a bubble here in Illinois. This is from U.S. News and World Report last week. Illinois is one of only 6 states with a universal mask mandate. That's along with Hawaii, Nevada, New Mexico, Oregon, and Washington. 3 states have what we had in the summer, which is mask mandates only for the unvaccinated. That's California, Connecticut, and New York. So currently, we have a more restrictive mask policy in the state of Illinois than even California. The rest of the states, and I don't want to read them all off, all have no mask mandates whatsoever.
So I know there's a tendency, especially on social media, if someone says something like this, to, oh my God, you're being dangerous, you're being careless, you know, I hope you end up in a hospital, literally that's been said, things like that. But we are the outlier. And what really got to me was at the last press conference, the governor was asked, when are you going to lift these mandates? And he hemmed and hawed and had no metric whatsoever. He used to pretend to have metrics, whether it was case counts, positivity rates, vaccination rates, all that stuff. Now, the basic answer was a bunch of political obfuscation to when I say so. And it clicked in my head, being kind of a political animal, that he wants this prolonged because it's a good issue for him moving into 2022, and it has nothing to do with health, safety, or anything else. And if you take that issue away, then you have to start talking about crime in the state, economic downturn in the state, people leaving the state, things like that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely pessimistic on that thing, on that issue. But it struck me really, really hard when he had no metric anymore. And so if it's not now, to the board, who I'm sure is going to say not now, when? When is it going to be appropriate and to do this? At what level do we have to get to where we're as reckless as the other 44 states that no longer have a mandate? I don't know what that answer is. I saw on Facebook yesterday, and this is another issue, countless pictures yesterday and Saturday of kids. You know, I have a lot of friends with younger kids under the age of 12, all at parties indoors, all without masks. And what we're telling our kids now is, you know what, when you're at home with all your friends and all your family in a big group, you don't have to wear a mask. But when you go to school, you have to wear a mask. And what that does is that undermines the institution. It undermines the school, because you're telling your kids implicitly, not explicitly, that you have to do something at school that we're not going to require you to do at home. And therefore, that's probably not something that should be required or something that you should have faith in. And while it's not going to be a direct undermining, it will undermine their faith in that institution to some degree. And I think the time has come to remove the mask mandate. And I think, you know, whatever power we have in this village, we should exercise it and let our businesses know that it's over. I'm guessing no one's going to be on board with me, but I feel incumbent upon me to say it, to fight for it. If it's not now, at least somebody on the board give me a when that this is going to happen. I don't know. You know, and for those who are still concerned, if you're vaccinated and you have an N95 mask on, are you still worried about someone unvaccinated infecting you? I don't understand when it ends. And you know, I said that in May of 2020 when I went on my long rant, when that phase 5 Restore Illinois plan, which, if we all remember, was until there's a readily available vaccine, then we'll go back to phase 5 normal. Well, we're there. We've been there forever. It started with 2 weeks to slow the spread, then case counts and positivity rates and vaccination rates. Now we're on to booster shots. It's never going to end, guys. We got to get out of this and move on. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Vito. I actually, I have kind of a response. You might like it, you might not. He is the governor, and he is the one that sets the rules. And I do have problems with it, but he is the one who makes the rules. And I think that what you need is enough people to say that he doesn't understand what he's talking about.
Well, there's 44 states of people saying different signs than what he's saying.
I understand that.
And to that effect...
And he is changing the goal line.
And to that effect...
He's absolutely moving the goal.
Illinois is one of the only states that hasn't come to a final adjudication on whether or not the emergency authority of these 30-day acts can be re-implemented every 30 days. We're now on the 20th re-implementation of a 30-day authority. In Wisconsin, it was stricken down. In Michigan, it was stricken down, because it makes no sense to have a 30-day limit on an emergency power that he can re-up now for 20 to 21 months. It completely obviates the point of the statute. And so now we're here with a governor with 20 months. And this may sound silly, I'm a big history fan. Even in ancient Rome, in senatorial Rome, they had a position of dictator for 6 months that could run military campaigns. And when that 6 months was over, the dictator was out until Caesar came along, and we know what happened to Caesar for abusing that power. I wish the same politically to our governor, not physically, but at some point, even ancient Rome knew you can't have a dictator run the show.
And we are now 20 months into this 30-day emergency power. Is it still an emergency? Do we really feel like we're living in an emergency? I don't know when it ends. That's all I have.
So there's an election coming up.
It won't end there. That's why he's keeping it going.
Yeah. Trustee Papantos, you had something?
I agree with Trustee Vito. We have heard time and again, it's a matter of the positivity rate, and then that keeps changing. And I don't think the positivity rate is going to suddenly drop to zero overnight, but at the same point, I don't think we're in a situation where we can continue to wear masks. It's kind of a joke. People walk around with them half on, half off, because they get to be uncomfortable. I don't know what the county's going to do, because the county made a big announcement after the Elk Grove announcement that they're going to enforce it. I don't know how. Sooner or later, we have to take a stand, and if enough people take a stand, maybe it will change.
Trustee Rufato.
I think the reason why we have a low positivity rate is because of the mask mandates. Now, I will agree with you, Trustee Vito, that this should have gone to the legislature long ago, but it hasn't. And that's a failure for the governor. But despite that, we are in this good position because of what he has done. And I'm in favor of keeping the mask mandate. And Trustee Papantos, every store I go into, every restaurant I go into, they wear masks all over, and I have not seen any issues with it. And when you go into a restaurant, they'll take them off at their table. And I'm okay with the way we are right now.
Anybody else, or if there are no other comments? It's a discussion that is well worth having. We're not going to solve it here. I'm not going to call to buck the governor. Having said all that, you have before you the bills for October 14th through October 27th, 2021. I do need a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Rufato, second Trustee Papantos. Roll call, please.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, we have no executive session tonight, which means we can leave now if I get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion, Trustee Vito?
Second.
Trustee Papantos, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned. Nice discussion.